Well, the story of the park began in 1973 with the purchase of the area at a public auction in Millstreet. Initially, I attempted to develop it as a grass-producing farm, but that was quite a job because it was, at the time I bought it, it was no more than a derelict mountainside. Eventually, I finished up with about 50% of it producing grass for beef farming, and that operation continued until 1986. Along the way, during while all that reclamation work was going on, we uncovered a lot of significant archaeological and historical sites, which today, of course, we have preserved and protected so that they're exposed to view nowadays. But in 1987 or so, I switched to deer farming, and deer farming was a viable option at that time. And then that continued for 5 or 6 years until 1991. And in 1991, I decided to get into the tourism business and to develop this park as an environmental cum nature park. I was encouraged at the time by the fact that Mr. Sheehan, I have to say in particular, announced the leader program for the first time in 1990. And according to Mr. Sheehan, when I listened to him announcing the leader program, he said that virtually any kind of rural development would qualify. So that encouraged me to turn this park into an environmental park and continue the tourism development that we still are producing and developing today. So the park, actually, to speak about the park itself, the park extends to 500 acres or so in total. And as I already said, during the early years, it was no more than a derelict mountainside, and it gradually evolved into pasture land, as I already said, for farming and so on and so forth. And then in 1991, when we turned to the tourism business, the place was half developed, if you like, because half it was in pasture and the other half it was still mountainside, which in fact we still have today. Now that mountainside today provides about 150 acres of bogland, which is a rare event nowadays. But we are very conscious of that, and we've got rare birds which dwell in the place, such as the hen harrier and a whole lot of kestrels and birds of prey in particular that you wouldn't see anywhere else. But the story goes on anyway, and as I said, during the development we came across archaeological sites such as stone circles and shepherd's huts and fullock fields, and all these we developed as we proceeded. So nowadays we have this environmental cum nature park, and along the way we've been adding to it year by year, and at this stage we have waterfalls, many of them, large and small, and we have walkways. We must have 15 to 20 kilometres of walkways, and we have lakes which are full of wild brown trout, and we have herb-rich meadows, and we have a whole lot of other attractive features for visiting tourists. The latest development we have here in this park is just here behind me, and that's what we call the Mont des Arts. Now the Mont des Arts was originally constructed in Brussels for an exposition which took place in that city in 1910. And it was developed by King Leopold II of Belgium as his contribution in particular to the exposition which took place at that time. Now, I came across the Mont des Arts purely accidentally in a book which I called the Castle's Book of Knowledge, which was printed possibly about 1905, and which I got, which I found in a collection of books which my father had. My father was a teacher, and I found this this book among a collection of books, and I came across this picture in it of the Montes Arts in Brussels, and this picture was taken in 1910. It was lying there all those years until I found it in the book about 2 years ago, and I came to the conclusion it was very suitable to place into this area which we have developed here now. And so that's how it all came about.